Dun, 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 dun. Today's news.
Hey guys,
what's up?
Welcome back. Today we're talking about, I cannot talk today.
Comes with the pregnancy brain. Let me do it, guys.
Take it over.
Today, guys, we are giving you the top 7 barriers and things that people struggle with most when they're coming into a vegan lifestyle and diet, and what to do about it.
Alright, so let's get right into it, if my pregnancy brain will allow me to actually speak coherently today. First thing, the first mistake or the first thing that trips most people up when they go vegan or try to go vegan is total calories. So you guys hear us talk about total calories quite a lot when we give you guys like nutritional tips and stuff. A lot of people, when they start to go vegan, they just undereat their total calories because of the changes in their diet. Sometimes they intentionally are trying to drop their calories because they are going vegan to try to lose weight. And a lot of times they just end up under eating their calories because the foods are different and they don't realize how much different the calorie density is of animal products to plant foods. And so when they switch to plant foods, they just end up eating not enough calories anymore.
And you've got to remember, guys, that veganism and a plant-based diet is not a magic bullet for fat loss. You can get fat eating spinach if you eat enough total calories of spinach. So very often, what I'm saying that for is because when people come to veganism, sometimes they'll do it with the intention of like stripping away fat very aggressively. So what do? They just eat a lot of salads, a lot of high volume, low calorie foods. So whatever their dietary calorie intake was before, they might be dropping that right down 500, 1,000, 1,500 calories below what they were at. You're going to feel lethargic, you're going to feel tired, you're going to feel weak. No matter what type of diet you have, if you drop your calorie intake too low for too long. And I find a lot of people do this within veganism because they want to see the rapid fat loss that they've been told about, so they strip calories away. They feel tired and lethargic. They say it's the vegan diet. No, it's not the vegan diet, guys. It's your total calorie intake. So you need to eat more first. My biggest thing for people is when you come to veganism and a plant-based diet, make sure that you just eat enough total food first to stabilize your weight. Stabilize your weight, get used to the food choices, and then focus on fat loss later on.
All right, number two, second thing is, this is kind of a controversial topic, so we're going to be careful with how we state things.
Yeah.
But number 2 is eating disorders.
It's an important thing to cover, guys.
Yeah, the reason why we're touching on this one is because whether you're vegan or you're not vegan, there are a lot of people out there these days who have some type of eating disorder. We tend to pigeonhole it into like bulimia or anorexia, but a lot of people just have disordered eating because of the dieting society that we have, because of the images that we portray in magazines and newspapers and movies, and everyone has these hang-ups about their body and about food.
And so you got to remember that a lot of the time when people come to veganism, that sometimes their intentions are good, but the mind that is steering the ship needs work. So you can have the best intentions, but if your perception and the way you think is skewed and not developed and not strengthened and nurtured over time, no matter what you do, you're going to relapse and struggle. And one of the common things I see with a lot of people who come to veganism and they have underlying disordered eating and they go back away from veganism isn't veganism in and of itself. Right. It's the disordered eating beneath that was the problem. So my suggestion to you guys is anyone who experiences this, get some help. See a psychologist. See a food eating therapist. See someone. Talk to someone about it, because you don't have to walk away from veganism because you have these issues. They're a common thing. Many people have them, guys, and it's not something to be embarrassed about, but it's something that you want to work on so you don't walk away from veganism thinking it was the vegan diet and lifestyle when it's not. So guys, number 3 is too much fiber in your diet too quickly.
This is a common one because the foods are different than what you're used to eating. And when you start to add more plant foods into your diet, you're going to be getting a lot more fiber than you probably were before on your old meat-eating diet. So fiber is definitely a good thing for you, but for a couple of reasons, you can have a transitional kind of distress period. First of all is that coming from a traditional type of diet, your gut health is probably not the best to begin with.
Yeah.
So you're coming in, you've got some gut issues that really need to just be healed for lots of different benefits. And because you have poor gut health, and then you're topping that with lots of fiber, like you're giving your digestion a lot of work to do, it's just kind of, it makes you gassy, bloated, things like that. And so you just feel that way initially, and you're like, oh man, like this is uncomfortable, this isn't working for me. It's not the case. It's just that you kind of have to heal your gut first. And then the other thing is just, even if your gut is in a pretty healthy state, you likely are going to be just eating more fiber. Plant foods have lots of fiber in it. You're eating more plants than you were before. So it's more work on the digestive system, and you have to give your body a chance to kind of adapt to this new way of eating, and it will. And then also just pay attention to which foods make you feel better and which foods make you feel worse. And adjust that, especially in the beginning. Adjust it to the foods that you feel the best on. And then you can even try adding some of those other things in later on. I'll give you an example for myself. I stay away from like canned beans and that type of thing. I find that causes a little bit of digestive discomfort. Yeah. But if I do lentils, I'm fine. If I do hummus, I'm fine, even though that's chickpea based, it's a bean. That's okay for me. And also if I soak and cook my own beans, it tends to be better for my digestion than if I used canned or prepared beans like from a store. And part of that is just you can control the process. You can soak them for longer if need be. You can do a soaking and rinsing. You can sprout. Sprouting things sometimes helps. It makes it a lot easier for digesting, and it boosts the nutrient content as well. So don't give up if you experience a little bit of digestive discomfort with gas or bloating in the beginning. You just have to learn about the foods, find what works for you, and give your body time to adjust.
And a couple of bonus tips, guys, is sometimes if you drink too much water and fluid during your meal, it's going to affect digestion and bloating, because you're basically diluting down your stomach acid volume. So sometimes, depending on the person, you need to just make sure that you drink your liquids in between meals and restrict a little bit during your meals. And it's the same with fruits. Sometimes fruits are better in mono meals between as snacks, as opposed to something in a main meal with proteins and other fats and starches and stuff like that. So it's just, like Lauren was saying, it gets back to just being patient, playing around a little bit with the timing of foods, with the volume of how much you're consuming. But you can get through this. Very often you're going to go through a period, like she was saying, where you'll feel a little bit worse before you feel better.
And that brings us perfectly into number 4. It's just not giving it enough time.
Yeah.
A lot of people simply don't give themselves enough time to transition. They don't allow their body time to go through the changes. A lot of people will experience detox symptoms. If you're coming from a high-fat, high-meat, animal product, hormone-laden diet, and then you switch to really clean plant foods, all that stuff that you were eating, that's been in your body, in your system, has to come out. Yep. And all those clean plant foods are going to help it do that. Yep. So it's basically cleansing your lymphatic system. All that stuff is going to come out of your pores. People will sometimes get acne for the first week or two. Usually I would say a good month at least to give yourself a transition period.
Yeah, you've got to remember that you didn't develop this old way of eating in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. This is a lifetime thing that you developed. It's like driving a car, guys. It's like working out in the gym. It's like anything that you have started as a beginner and somehow mastered. This is the same process. A lot of people will say to me, I want to do it for a week. And I'm like, look, you want to do it for at least a month, because you're going to go through periods of things where you try things and they might not work. And you have to be willing to play around with that. So patience is so important when it comes to this stuff, and recognizing that it does take a little bit of adjustment, a little bit of trial and error, but that's not a bad thing. It's ultimately a good thing, because it's going to take you from where you are up to where you could be.
And when you feel impatient, look at some of like the healthy, fit vegans that are, thriving on this lifestyle, and just realize
Remind
yourself. Can be done. I just have to figure it out. I've got to get used to this new way of eating and living, but it totally can be done, and I see the proof of it in other people.
Yeah. Number 5 is biofeedback.
One of Fraser's favorite topics, kind of your coined word, I guess.
Yeah.
Biofeedback just means listening to your body
language,
and paying attention to responses to different stimulus in your food or your change in your lifestyle. Pay attention to how your body is responding, and then use that information to make adjustments that are right for you.
So you're going to have things like digestive health. So are you getting bloating, constipation? How's your skin? Is it breaking out? What are your strength levels like in the gym? What's your sleep like? Hunger and cravings, water retention. What else? Energy levels, mood. All those types of things. Your body explaining something to you. It's trying to tell you something basically about your diet and lifestyle and your mindset and all those different things. So if you can learn how to interpret what it's saying so you can adjust what you're doing in your lifestyle, you can improve your biofeedback, which is going to change the game for you. You're going to have more energy, you're going to sleep better, your body composition is going to improve, your digestion will improve. Basically, everything optimizes.
And if you're curious about more about what biofeedback means, how do you pay attention to it, how do you learn like what to change, things like that, check out our ebook. We have an ebook on our website, the Evolving Alpha Body Blueprint. Fraser has a chapter on biofeedback in that ebook, and there's a checklist of the things that you should track each day, what to pay attention to, how to kind of give yourself ratings on different things, and then how to respond to that.
So guys, number 6 is information overload or analysis paralysis, basically.
That's why we tried to keep this list as short as possible.
Simple.
Because we even asked on Facebook for other people's opinions, like, what do you think are the things that trip people up?
100 million
We had, overload of responses. So we wanted to keep this really simple. The truth is, there's a lot of information. I mean, the internet is a great tool because we have access to learn anything that we want to. But it can also be a hindrance because there's so much out there.
Especially conflicting information.
Right. Anyone can put information out on the internet, and you can start reading, and you can go through hundreds of blogs, hundreds of videos, and you start to not know what's the right direction, and so you don't take the first step at all.
Because you got to remember, guys, for every piece of information you see, you can find a negative and a positive blog or article or whatever you want online. So basically, what you focus on is going to expand.
Even research papers.
Yeah, what you focus on is going to expand. So if you're looking for bad things, you're going to find it. If you're looking for good things, you're going to find it. So you've got to remember that very often the way that I tell people to approach things is one, focus on yourself. Focus on your own biofeedback and your own experience. You can read 100 forums saying 100 different things, but you're never going to truly know how something works until you do it yourself. And the second thing is just start something, test it, see how it works for you, and if it works, great, keep going. If it doesn't, move to the next thing. Don't worry about 100 million different things or trying 50,000 different things from multiple different doctors and advocates. Start one thing, work on that, and see how that works for you.
And stick with simplicity. So don't go to, like, okay, I want to try a vegan lifestyle, go on the internet, and you find, like, the most convoluted, complex, hardest, like, farthest from what you've been doing type of diet, and then try to start with that. Don't do that. Start simple.
Simplify.
Start with, you're used to eating foods. You always had vegetables and potatoes and rice and starches. That stuff is normal. You've had that before. You used to eat that in burritos and side dishes, okay? The only thing is, you're not going to eat the animal products. So you're just going to substitute that with something else like tofu and tempeh and mock meats that are available and beans and lentils and legumes, okay? So start simple and then use your biofeedback and make adjustments. Don't try to completely overhaul everything that you know about nutrition in one go. Just remove the animal products and start adding some plant-based proteins instead.
Which ties into the fact that if you haven't seen our previous video on vegan versus non-vegan macros, how to make that transition, go back and see that, because this ties into this. We make it simple and applicable. So if you're getting information overload on how to change your macros, we're going to put it somewhere around there, whatever. So number 7, guys, the last one is your support network and environment.
Yeah, so a big common thing, even when we asked people in Facebook, a big one was just the social pressure as one. So, you know, it's difficult. Most people, right, as of right now, are not vegan. So, and especially like, hello, we live in South Louisiana. Okay, we are like the vegan community that lives down here.
It's just us.
It's just us. There's no support community. So, but you can still do it. As long as you're strong in your conviction, you have your own head on your shoulders, you can do anything that you want to do.
Yeah.
So that is my first thing, is just be confident in your decision. Second thing is you want to search out other people that you can talk with and people who are kind of on the same path as you, people that you resonate with. Because whether it's a vegan diet or whether it's your spirituality, whether it's anything in life, whether it's the type of business that you do, you have to have other people to connect with and feed off of that help lift you in the right direction.
Yeah, elevate you.
You don't want to be around people that drain you and pull you down, the crabs in the bucket. You don't want that, right? So you need to, if you don't have it in your immediate physical location, then go on. This is where the internet is really helpful. You can go online and find supportive places. Now, be conscious of the environments that you choose, whether it's physical or online. Because I'll give you an example. There's lots of vegan groups online, and some of them are not moderated. Nobody is in control of the groups. It's free range, and there can be, we see it a lot of times, newbies will go into a group and ask an innocent question. And vegan police and people who have been vegan for a really long time and think that they're perfect at it come in and berate these poor beginners. And instead of encouraging them to continue their vegan diet, they encourage them instead to just
eat meat again.
Yeah. Hit the road because they're like, I don't want nothing to do with these people. They're not helping me. They're not helpful. I'm trying to do the right thing, and they're telling me how I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah. So you've got to be aware of what spaces you move into when you come to the online stuff, which brings us to our group, Plant Strong Fitness. So if you search Plant Strong Fitness on Facebook, you can request to be in that group. We moderate it very closely. It's a no BS environment. We only want positivity, because I only want positivity in my own life. That's why I created that group to begin with, because I was tired of the BS, negativity. I don't even allow that in my own space. So I wanted to create a space for guys like you, guys and gals like you.
We're in that group every day, so we don't want those people pulling us down with that energy either.
And so search that group and join it if you're a good, kind person who wants to learn. Because, again, if you're in an environment where you don't have a good physical support network, the online stuff can change the game for you, because the amount of connections and beautiful people that we've met online and connected with in real life at different veg fests and fitness expos and things like that is unreal. You will make some amazing connections, and they'll go from being online to real world relationships and experiences. And I can tell you now, it's going to change the game for you when you have other people around you who have the same vision and energy and focus as you do. You're just going to keep improving your life, and the people who are not supportive will not affect you as much.
Yeah, and it's easy to feel like you're the only one, who lives this way, when your family's not vegan, or none of your friends are vegan. But the truth is, there's a big wide world out there, and there are millions of vegans, and the vegan movement is growing so much right now. There's tons of people out there who are doing what you're doing. You just have to connect with them outside of your normal circle of people.
And the last thing is, just remember why you do this. Keep learning, keep educating yourself. Watch Earthlings, watch Cowspiracy, watch What the Health, watch Forks Over Knives, watch From the Ground Up, watch all these different documentaries and learn about all the different reasons why you should do this, to really reinforce and drive home your resilience and your fortitude, because that's going to be the thing that gets you through during the tough times.
When you really have a conviction, a strong conviction to do something, then you're going to learn the stuff. You're going to figure it out as you go. We always say that, make a decision, figure the rest out later. So that's what you want to do, is just lock down those reasons why it's so important to you. And then the learning stuff is easy and it's fun, and you'll get to be an expert at it in no time.
So guys, let us know if this video resonated with you. Which number or which topic do you think is the most common one? Was there anything that we didn't list that you feel is a common one? If so, post it in the comments below. Let's start a discussion. Let's give people good information to learn from. We appreciate you guys. Give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe.
And if you're new or you're just curious about plant-based eating, leave us a comment below and let us know if one of these is really a struggle for you, or if you have a more specific question. We will be more than happy to respond to in the comments, and maybe even do a future video to help you on your topic.